want to talk about controversy, and I feel like people maybe are scared to like criticize me because maybe I look scary sometimes. I don't know. But like I posted, I'm like, yo, you guys out there that are just consuming my content and don't like it, like please, like engage. It took effort for me to come up with an idea to click record, put some lipstick on and the whole face, you know.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Business at the Speed of Light. I am very excited about our next guest. I actually met her at an incredible speaking event. She was amazing. She was actually, this is at Mar-a-Lago, and she was actually the person, she was the host of the event, and I got to meet her there and listen to her story, and right away was captivated. And I think I asked her to come on the show like within like 5 minutes of meeting. I was like, why haven't you come on the show? You're like, well, and you're like, and who are you again? So we get to know each other, you know, a little bit. So I don't want to just screw up your last name, but it's Kristina Krykhtin. So, you know, when we met, what really in that first 5 minutes we talked, you have an energy, you have a connection. Like we connected immediately, and those are the people that I gravitate to. And ain't that true about everything, right? This is a business show now that I'm doing, and it's about being successful in business. And you're extremely successful, you know, business person. You got deals left and right going on. We were just talking about that. We could get into that kind of like towards the end, because this is just about like, I want people to really get something out of this. So we'll go to some dark places potentially. We'll see. We'll, you know, see how it all goes. But let's start there, right? Like talk about like energy, right? Like when we had like that event that night, just being around that pool, like you get there and you have all these people, right? Some very successful people, billionaires, and then you have just people that want to learn. You have young people like your daughter who's doing amazing things, and you just have people that just want to be around just energy and excitement, and you just learn so much, and you just feel good. I mean, our dopamine levels go through the roof, all our hormones of love. We're just people are just vibing.
Yes.
Why don't you talk about how, like in your own career, we'll get into like some of the other stuff, but how important has your like energy level been in connecting with people and doing these deals? Because if you go in there and, you know,
Oh my gosh, energy is so important. I mean, even in my first business that I built, you know, relating to people in a high peak energy is so important. My first business was a dental practice, and I was petrified of dentistry because I was tortured in Belarus. Like with no Novocaine, nothing. I was exposed to radiation. I was tortured by doctors from the Chernobyl radiation. And I could feel these people's energy of fear, and I knew I had to offset it. And the way to offset it is be calming, be uplifting, making them feel comfortable. Obviously, we built it in a way where it's aesthetically soothing, but energy is so important. And now I take it into everything that I do. It's powerful with what you can accomplish when you show up with great energy and then you impact lives. And just like meeting you had great energy. Like if so, I appreciate you introducing me, that because I always wonder how I am received to people, because sometimes I don't like some of the energy I pick up from people. And the fact that you and I like click like that, to me, like if I'm standing there talking to you, you've left, like you and I click, it's going to continue. Other people, I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have the capacity to talk to you right now. Let's set up a Zoom. And I just like shovel.
I know what that means. It will set up a Zoom, which will be in 2029.
No, but usually I literally do. Like if I like somebody, but if I'm emotionally and energetically spent for the night, like I was already telling people like that night, I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you anymore. Like, and I'm just blunt like that. Because in the beginning, when you and I had the pleasure of talking, just the beginning, and then my nerves were shot at the end of the night because I was supposed to start the event, and then I became the MC of the whole event. And
that wasn't coordinated?
No. I would have said some much more nicer things about the Aspire people because they have impacted my life.
I actually did not know. I told everyone, I was like, oh, it's her event. Like
it was, we organized.
But I mean, it became like your event. Like you were
you were the face of it, yeah.
Yes, which is great. Which is great. Like,
I mean, the whole relationship, that the whole reason that whole thing happened is because of me introducing one incredible human being with another. And then that happened. And then we just kept putting fuel on the fire to get the event going, you know? And there's a lot of stuff on the back end that I was worried about. Obviously, my kids were there, and I tell my kids, you better not stress me out today, because, hey, I have lines to remember, people to talk to, make sure that I'm present when I'm engaged. And that's why that energy is so important. And if I have to deal with you guys fighting, or like worry about, like you trying to like this, raise up and solve your own problems, so I can be at my maximum capacity when I'm in those rooms, being my best fireball energy.
Fireball, yeah. No, you're right. Listen, I mean, it's stressful. I mean, there were some power players in. It was just.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You can't even shrink, though. Like, I think that a lot of people, like when they're around people at that caliber, they shrink. They get intimidated. But I feel like our group was so amazing. Like, everybody just gave off this energy that they belong, what made it even more powerful.
Which is what you should do, right? I mean,
a lot of people don't realize that.
One of the best pieces of advice that I ever heard, and again, I was not around this stuff. Like a lot of this stuff, I had good mentors. I talked about some of them on the stage that night, but I was never around people that I was like coaching me or mentoring me in the just different aspects of life. And one of my favorite things, right? If you take like an event like that, right, where at the table, I'm sitting at the table, the who's who of, it's incredible, right? It's this: go in rooms where you don't even belong, and this is what people don't understand.
Yeah.
I was so impressed. So so there was a kid there, and I really, it's a young guy. He had never gone to one of these events. I had no idea how he got connected to this thing. I don't think he knows. Like, I'm serious. I don't think he knows. Like, he was sitting at the table. So I talked to him for a while. He was not a high energy person.
Wow.
But he was there. But he was around. He made a choice. So he was former military, and he was transitioning into wanting to do business, but really didn't know exactly what he wanted to do. I think he was like connected to some farming stuff, whatever. Super nice guy. But it's like, it's awesome. I was like inspired by him, and I was just trying to pump him up because it is true. It's easy once you get to a certain level, it's easy to say, well, walk around the room and just like head high and chest out and just be like, I'm so-and-so, whatever. I don't want to, yes, it takes, but I also don't want to give, like, I don't want to exaggerate, because was I doing that? Like, I wasn't doing it at that guy's age. I wasn't. I wish I was, but I wasn't. Yeah. But it was great to just see him there. So I just tried to, just try to get him. And I was like, and I just kept telling him, I was like, man, I'm proud of you that you decided, because it wasn't cheap to get in that room. I mean, people paid a lot of money, to hear us tell some stories. Like, to hear us tell some stories. We're impactful, but I'm just saying, they still paid a lot of money. But you're not paying money because you want to hear, like, people, whatever. But you're paying money because you want that energy. You want the connections. You want access to the people. And the way to get it is, it's like some people, like, if you listen to their story, it's because they went in rooms that they had no business being in. Yeah. And it's amazing, what can come out of that.
Yeah.
Like, is that something that, like, you talk about a lot? Like, you just have to be in the room. Yeah. Like, right. Like,
I mean, being in the room is so important. When I was even in my 20s, and like, even to go back, because I'm not from America. When I got here, God, like, gave me a vision of who I'm going to be. And it's weird because I didn't even speak English, but I could hear God's voice so clear. And I came from extreme poverty. Chernobyl radiation. My mom raised each other by herself. And then I'm like, God puts this vision in my head, and I'm like frightened, because it's like I came from the opposite. And then, like, I look back now because there's just so much trauma, but how did I know that I needed to be around wealthy people? I didn't understand that, like, not wealthy people that can elevate me. And a lot of times it is wealth, but it's also the wealth of mindset, of thinking bigger, of people doing bigger things. And I knew that from the start, before I even understood what I was doing. And as a kid, like, as a 9-year-old, like, why did I understand that back then? because I did not have any personal development books. I
Which is,
kind
I
of,
mean, it's an intuition. It's an
for
intuition.
me, it was God. I honestly
And God speaks in every language.
yeah,
So
I don't even.
that's just I'm just throwing it out.
It is no. For
It's not like you don't hear God because you start speaking English. It's okay.
like I spoke Russian back then, and it was like somebody asked me like, "What did you realize you started thinking in English?" I'm like, I don't even remember.
It's a transition.
It just you become it's part of life. But being in the rooms, and then when I started learning from my mentors like Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, T. Harv Eker, I've done a lot of trainings. Ironically, I've never done anything with David, but for me, I learned how important it is to show up. This is the first step. What you were saying, Rashik, yeah, you have to show up. Number one. Number two, not be afraid to ask questions. I bring my kids to everything as much as I can to so they can process raising their hands, and asking questions. I remember Mila wrote a book about how I paid her to go. We were at a restaurant, which we're going to go to after. And I paid her $50 to go to a table next to us and to introduce herself. Because I believe communication is the second most. Number one, show up. Number two, don't be afraid to use your voice. Because if you don't have a voice, you can't make a difference in what you're building in the people's lives that you are impacting. So communication is super important, as well as the energy. And the energy comes from that because you have to rise up to the occasion because what happens when you're nervous. I remember the first time I was scared to talk to Grant Cardone. Like I felt like my insides were going to come out because it was turning. But once you start conquering that and strengthening that nervousness, and it becomes like, oh wow, here I am. And now on that stage, I was nervous. I was so.
You were just moving around.
It's natural for me, but I had to say the right things about certain people, and then I had the pressure, which again, it made me nervous. I rose to the occasion, got it done, and opened more doors. Right? It's like when you confront what scares you, you go to the next level.
No, absolutely. And I'm honestly, that story, I mean, I want to get that in and of itself. No, seriously, paying, a young person to go and introduce themselves to the table is clear. It's very similar to what we did with our kids, where we forced them to order, from the menu for the whole table. And it's like, if you can't do that, that's basic, communicating with human beings. There's nothing.
There's a huge problem with our young people.
It's like
It's a whole different conversation.
kids ordering. They just sit, they literally, they rather starve themselves than open their mouth.
How about even not knowing what an actual vegetable looks like if you name it? That's
a whole other. Actually, when I gave my TED Talk at Harvard, there was a talk on that, on really teaching kids about food and how broken that whole thing is. But kids definitely have a communication. Your kids don't, obviously.
My
right?
kids.
I met your daughter, and she's going to be a piece. I already said I'm already gearing up for I want to do a podcast with them. It's amazing. What she's like. She'll get there. Without the force her.
You should be how does it occur being how's your mom? Tell us what your life looks like. I'm curious because they won't tell me. Sometimes they're our life is insane. And I'm that's all I know.
Most of my kids could do full pod. If you had my kids on the podcast, they would just talk about me the whole time, make fun of all the stuff I say, all this.
Kids with our kids.
Oh, my kids were just, especially my younger one, he would just rip me into it. He's very funny, but and then I come back to him, it's you don't understand adult stuff. He's like, oh, you say this, and then you hold your hand, and then you're doing this weird stuff on the videos. I'm
could go far.
And he's got this big head of hair. The kid, he's wild. My younger one's wild. The other one's a little bit more. But I think if his brother was both on, then he would go to town too. He's like, oh, license to go after dad. Let's go.
People aren't doing this. We should let our kids process because I have nothing to hide. I want them to say as many funny things about as possible.
I'm not trying to do that. But the thing about it is yes, we do it in our way and it's quirky. And you listen, it doesn't whether people have had good upbringings or not, everybody has this remember stuff about their parents or whoever raised them that it's they know it's you remember how you thought.
You saw. I told a funny story about me smacking my brother in the head right before we took our passport pictures to come to America and gave my brother a big bruise.
I'm sure he deserved it though.
Yeah, but I told the story and my mom was so embarrassed about it. I'm like, Mom, that was so funny. That was 30 years ago. Why are you scared about it? It's just good memories.
He deserved that.
She was just, I think it's funny. It's good to have a laugh at yourself and the stuff that you do, but I want to laugh more, but I can't laugh if they don't talk about me,
No. Well, that's not a problem with like I said, with my younger one. He has no problem pointing out stuff, or he'll watch a video on social. He's like, oh my God, you're such a dork. What the hell was that? He's like, and then I was like, you never share my stuff with your friends. He's like, please stop posting. Don't post anything. I don't want my friends to see it. We're going to have to block you.
When I tagged Mila, I'm like, please.
Yeah.
It's just my friends don't like watching.
Oh my, do you repost? Do you repost it? But you have to.
I'm like, you're giving me bigger exposure when you repost.
Oh, 100%.
I'm like, that's the least you could do.
Let's get the algorithm going. We got to get the algorithm going. For those of you that do social media, it's all about the algorithm and when people come in. But that's the exhausting part. We were talking about that. This is a good segue, into that stuff. Then we'll get into more. I do want to talk about some radiation stuff and Chernobyl and stuff it's just interesting.
Yeah.
But on the social media front, it is exhausting. But the truth is, you're really good at social. You're on there all the time. You've got a good team, and a lot of them are your family, which is great.
Your family business.
Yeah, it's a family business, but it is exhausting. But the truth is, and this is something I'm really trying to teach the other healthcare providers, is unfortunately, in our environment, if you're not on social,
you don't exist.
You do not exist. So yesterday, on my flight in, I sat next to this guy. He's clearly a wealthy guy. He just he wanted to everyone to know. It's fine. People can do whatever they want to do. I watched them. I'm not kidding. 4-hour flight, Instagram, the whole time. He never got off his Instagram.
He doom scroll.
4 hours in a row.
Doom scroll.
I just looking at it. Again, I'm not, don't worry. If you sit next to me, I'm not okay. It was just random stuff. I didn't look. It was one thing, and then it was some other. It was just random. But I just was curious because I always think about this. And so then, but just think about it. Then when we, as people that are trying to get a message out, and again, not even selling message, but we're trying to just tell people who we are, what we're doing, what our businesses are about, how we're trying to help people. If you're not out there, you're not doing anything. And when I watch people like that, the guy was probably in his mid-60s. I'm just throwing out a number, and he's on there. If that guy's on there doing that all day, everybody's doing that all day. So if everyone's doing that all day and you're not on social, because a lot of doctors, I had Dr. Betsy Grunch on my thing. She's great. I had her on my podcast. She's a bajillion followers, and she does. I mean, she's become the social queen. She's amazing, right, on that stuff. But it was I wanted her to give advice to other doctors, why be on social? Because pretty soon, if you're not out there, you don't even exist anymore. That people are making decisions about where to treat for doctors by watching your videos.
It's a free marketing tool. I mean, obviously it requires a lot of effort if you're truly doing something with it, but posting a video and promoting your business, that's free. It's you just turning on the camera and speaking.
Yes.
If you want to go to the next level, which what you're doing, which is incredible, it requires a lot of input, planning, dollars to get your brand and message out there.
It does. And I think I was saying it to you before we started, or I was one of the other guests. The frustrating thing is sometimes people don't understand, let's say I was going to do a post. When you're earlier on, right? It's easy once you people have massive amounts of following. You post anything. You post your shoe, right? And you get 700,000
loving on
your shoe. Oh my God, it's great. And the crazy thing about social is the more followers you have, people will like their stuff without even watching it, but yet when they see their friends, I'm sure some of your friends, you're irritated. They don't even never click on it. Yeah. But they're clicking on every Kardashian post.
Oh my!
And you're probably I don't like these people anymore.
I mean, I never liked them to begin with.
You have some common courtesy for the love of God and just click the damn heart button.
I have to start incorporating massages and self-care more into my life because I'm getting older and I has to rest. But when I rest, I have all these creative ideas start.
Well, that's when they come.
I made a whole video of like, you want to talk about controversy, and I feel like people maybe are scared to like criticize me because maybe I look scary sometimes. I don't know, but you're at a religion, but like I posted, I'm like, yo, you guys out there that are just consuming my content and don't like it, like, please, like, engage. It took effort for me to come up with an idea to click record, put some lipstick on and the whole face, but like, please like it.
I don't know that.
Engage, like what? It's the least you can do. You're already on it,
That is, and again, I'm gonna go back to that. So here's the crazy thing. I go to these places now because I'm out there. I do a lot on social and try to educate and whatever. Like my thing is educate. I don't dance, so I don't do any of this stuff. I just don't want it to like, but I think it's fine. I have a lot of friends. Actually, one of the guys that like one of the doc, he's a doc, Dr. Pfeiffer. We're both on state at Aspire in Houston. He like does crazy stuff. He's funny. He's hysterical. Big guy. We just all have different, things we want to do. But the thing that is annoying about that stuff, from a business standpoint, is it definitely helps when they engage because then it gets the similar people. Because the people I want to get, like, right, if I'm talking about something that has to do with, like, for the spine care, right? If people that are involved in spine, if they engage, then it goes to their people who are also interested, and then that's how that's how it works. But they don't engage, and so it's just weird. But on the other hand, they watch. So then I'll go to the hospital. And like, let's say I posted something about like my frustration over the peer review process, which is a scam. That was actually the title of my thing. I said the peer review process is a scam. It's a scam. It's a complete scam. Anyway, you post it. I don't. No one that I see. I mean, that one got a ton of engagement, but not from the people that I know.
The people that we want to like support you. The least you could do.
Just because it's local and I want people to know and I want to raise awareness I want doctors to just chime in and be like, yeah, this sucks, whatever. Crickets. Some doctors, but doctor, I don't even know these people ain't straight. They engaged a lot in that post, but yet the next day I go to the hospital. Everybody's asking me about my post. None of them engaged. Everyone's like, oh, I saw your post. Right. That sucks. I was like, can you click? And again, it's not about... It's not like for me. It's not about nothing like that. It's just the message doesn't spread if you're not engaging in the darn thing.
People, if you're not supporting, the least you could do. And it's so funny because like I go to a lot of events. I go to, do the podcast, do stages, and people come up to me and just like they're so fascinated with me, like I'm a specimen. And half the time it's so funny. I'm like, who are you? Do you like, but they're like, oh, we're friends on social media. I'm like, I never see you commenting, liking, we could build a friendship that way. Absolutely. You were engaging with me. But it's so funny because like one of my favorite movies is Devil Wears Prada. And I was telling Mila, I'm like, we're at a point where you need to start like telling me who's coming up to me to tell me who they are. Like in Meryl Streep or like Andy Sachs tells like, who's coming towards you. John, how are you? Because it's like we're in a public light, and it's like, but if you're not engaging with me on social media, how else are you going to build a relationship with me? But people need to step up. I mean, honestly, I have my opinion on social media too, because it's a very effective tool, right? But like we're giving so much energy to promoting and telling people, but it was like it drains me.
Of course it is, because then you're like, oh, I got to post this thing today. It's just like people that don't do it, they're
using it, but they're using it. It's like if you're using, and I get it. Like I'm the same. Like I'm so conditioned. This is why I'm taking a little sabbatical from it. Watch, I'll break it like later because I'm like, we've made some great content today. Let me start.
Oh, you're gonna start.
Right, I'll start tomorrow.
You start tomorrow. Today's a big day. You should have like 10 posts from.
I know, but it's like people like don't understand how easy it is for them to promote themselves. And I don't know if you're taking any marketing, but I've done so much marketing and research on how important it is to use these tools, right? But we need creative ideas. I'm a creative person, but in my field, I'm constantly negotiating contracts. I'm looking at pitch decks. I am trying to figure out what to say at the next event, and taking the time to go on social media and engage. Like, that's just an extra element for me to say hi to the world. And if they're not engaging with me, like, I feel like it's not received. But I know you're watching. Like, engage with me because it takes effort.
But if they were just, but it was one thing if they're just watching everybody. But I know like the people that are scrolling past my stuff, they're sure clicking on Snoop Dogg stuff.
Yeah. Snoop Dogg.
I'm like, you're just like, you doing it. I love Snoop Dogg. Like, not, yeah, like he's the man. But why are you clicking? He doesn't need the likes. I think the 800,000th like was good. You're 800,001. On mine, you're 7. So why don't we click on mine and then
get your priorities.
Get yourselves in order, people.
Social media. Make sure you like the ones that are making a difference.
That can't be true. There's a whole thing.
Public service announcement.
Truth. There are like a couple times I clicked on people that complain about it, and then my entire feed is people complaining that their friends don't click on their things. Like people are really like. Especially the ones that are trying to build something. I don't care. Like if people are like just posting stuff, but at least click on the posts that are educational and you're trying to get a message out. If you
educational stuff out, especially in today's day and age where, gosh, I'm so sick of hearing about, OnlyFans, Epstein crap. Like, I'm so sick of it.
Oh, you can't even click on one of those. You click on one Epstein thing, it's all Epstein. One Epstein is all Epstein.
I'm petrified. Like, I don't even want to open my social
videos on this channel.
Because people are liking it, so it's showing up. But like, let's support some positive messages of how to live longer, how to stay more youthful, energetic, how to grow your business, how to be a better parent. Nobody cares about these things. Our values have gone to the toilet, people. Stop watching the pedophilia crap on the news.
There you go. You heard it right here on Business at the Speed of Light. Stop watching the pedophilia crap on the news. No, this is good. Like, I mean,
I typed the news in. Not the porno. The news.
I'm just saying, like,
negativity is
like there are these like if you click like anything that's TMZ-ish, that's fine. Yeah, I get it. You want to be entertained. You talk about like suppressing like life. I mean, if you're just following everyone else's BS all day, you're going to be miserable. You can't be happy by that. I get it. You want to do, but there's real problems in the world. I mean, we have a very divided society. We have a very sick society from a physical.
This bothers me so
This is all like, I mean, that is my thing. But when I say, like, for example, like I knew it yesterday. On the way in, I posted this one thing, and it was about it was about the study about processed foods and how it like just ruins health, and why like 20-year-olds at like their actual like biological age is like 65. Now some of that's hyperbole, but they're sick. Yeah. I see them all the time. I was like, this is not going to get any engagement. No one wants to be talked to, and the whole processed foods. Bit. But if it was some other like topic, people do like some of these other things that are more controversial, so being held down, and they're like, okay, well,
there's commissioned on receiving certain information. It's all kidding. Big companies spend millions of dollars on getting into our brains for specific information and suppress the other because it's scientific what our brains are now interested in. It's a
dopamine nation. Yeah. It's dopamine. There's a guy. His name is Robert Lustig. There's a book. It's called The Hacking of the American Mind. And it's basically how corporations have literally hijacked the American mind. People, and I talked about this, on a recent show, is that people are so hijacked by these thoughts that they can't even connect the dots by their crappy lifestyle to the fact that they're sick. They don't connect that. They're like, oh, it's not that. It's because of this. And they just make excuses. And it's this and it's that. It's like, no, you eat like crap. You don't
brainwash.
You don't work out. You don't get sleep. You're stressed out. You don't have any practices that put you in a parasympathetic state. So let me get this straight. You're shocked that you're sick now, but you do nothing to take care of yourself. Nothing. The average American literally does nothing to take care of themselves. Yeah. Zero.
The fundamentals have changed so much from what was important, let's say in the 50s, 60s, to where we are now. And it's like, how can you build a solid foundation if you don't take care of your health, don't take care of your mindset, don't take care of your family, don't take care of your community? Like those those things don't exist anymore, right? Like you're doing something about it, like, which is, I applaud you, because many people, like, it takes courage to stand up and say something about, hey, this is killing them. But if we hear it enough of people like the stupid thing, that you.
There we go. If they click on it, click on it. I know
It's the good versus evil. We're pushing, like, going back to, like, being brain dead, which is what the marketing companies have taught us.
brain dead custom. I mean, the American law.
You want to hear something controversial? Because I lived in a communist country. Is it better to be a communist, or whatever the hell is happening with the way the corporations are keeping us brain dead and suppressed with keeping the capital growing in their companies? Like, which one do I want to be aware, or do I want to be?
We're just prisoners of a different system.
Yeah, it's a different system.
It's just prisoners of it. It's a prisoners of different system. I mean, there's not much that's good about communism.
Yeah.
There's not much. I mean, we're not going to promote communism on the show.
No, I know.
Yeah, you're not. I know. You're the
just
last person.
yeah,
No, but
it's
you're
a different mindset.
no, but it's not controversial. Yeah. It's not controversial. It's like, listen. Here's a great, Tom Bilyeu? He's on this. I love one thing he says. He's like a bird in a cage. You open the cage, they can fly anywhere in the world, and it just sits there. And he's like, does it sit there because, like, it's just making the choice, or is it just because it's a dumb animal? And he's like, yeah, that's one thing. But on the other side, like, we do that all the time. That's how we live our lives. So we imprison ourselves. So yeah, we might not be like one of my other recent guests who spent quite a bit of time in prison, right? Like, actually in prison, but we live our lives. It's a prison. We create these prisons based on these false ideas or just the corporate overlords, right? The communism, I love it. Actually, that was that's a great thing, because it's like,
Which prison?
what's the word? Yeah, what's worse? Again, there's not, like, at least communism, despite the fact that we've changed the way we think about, there's not, other than in New York City, there's not a lot of push for communism. Even amongst the most liberal people in our country, no one likes the C word here. They just don't, right? We've had trials on that before, back in the 60s, all that stuff. It's a whole thing.
At the end of the day, people want, or the governments want what's best for the people. And a lot of times, whether it's communism or capitalism, there's a prison in of itself. You just, as a human being, we have choices here. Unfortunately, like you said with the bird, we don't take and exercise those choices of, like, well, there's so much information, now we're overloaded. People don't use it, and practice it. And it's like, which one's better? Which prison's better?
I don't know, but let's.
But grateful to have a voice.
You want to get deep into? I'm just saying, like, if you think about, like, creating a prisons, of course, any governmental, right, and part of it is how you could maintain societal calm, because otherwise it's chaos. So I get that point. So that's why we have laws. That's why we have, otherwise it's literally a free for all, right? If you just say, well, theft is okay. It would be wild tonight, right? What's the name of that movie where they got what's that thing where you could just, like, do crimes, like, overnight?
Oh God! No,
I forgot the name of that movie. There's a lot of them. They were like on number 10. I've never watched any of them, but, like, you could just commit crimes from a certain hour or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's like a horror movie, right?
Yeah. The Purge. The Purge, and there's a lot of them. So I don't even watch it, but I'm just saying, like, literally, it would break down. No one, like, if they just said, yeah, everyone could, like,
whatever,
steal and do whatever. There's a lot of people that are just going to go do it because they're like, I'm not going to get in trouble. So we do need laws. We need stuff like that. So I'm not saying, like, if you don't do that, you can't have a society. Then it's like, like the whole, like, whatever Tower of Babel. It's just wild, wild stuff going on. On the other hand, if you are any government, it doesn't matter whether it's capitalism or socialism or whatever, you have to have some, they're trying to control, but then they take it to another level. And every type of stuff has done it. Capitalism in and of itself, like in the theory, when we call, like, free market and economics, that's very different than corporate overlords, which is what we have. And it's unfortunate. And I'm not saying that the one thing's better than the other, but if you go back to Marx, right, how did they control people? Religion. Religion is the opium of the people. And it wasn't, it's like, it's obvious. If people are believing in something, right? And I'm very spiritual, whatever, and that's good. But it's true. If no one has if everyone says it's chaos.
Yeah.
And so then it gets good. So these are like really complicated issues, but I think that the thing that we're all talking about and that you point out really astutely is that you have to be aware of it.
That's like awareness is so rare these days. Like I have a hard time talking to people. That's why you and I click, because you're self-aware. You're awake or
We woke.
You woke. You woke. I like,
You heard that right here. I'm woke. She's the second guest that said I'm
do you
woke.
know how hard it is to find like people that are just like self-aware?
Extraordinarily woke.
I can't even I don't even I'm scared to talk to people sometimes because I don't want to pick up on the germs of stupidity and sleepiness, because that goes back to energy, right? Like
100%.
it's a shell. It's a human being that's been wired with so much marketing. They're not even thinking for themselves.
Half of people's ideas are not even their own ideas. So why do we even care what they think about anything? Because it's not even their idea. Like, people are on here, and I get it. Right now, it's a very polarized climate. But I do see some people, like, they'll chime in on a random post. I'm like, and sometimes I'll...
Thank God they chimed in.
A lot of times, though. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good for your thing. But sometimes, like, on the trolls, like, I'll, like, I don't know why I'm not supposed to do this, but I'll just erase it. But I'm like, you know, I've actually, I'll speak like this. I'm like, bro, it's a post about intermittent fasting, and you're bashing some political party. What the hell's wrong? Like, what is, like, are you okay? Like, are you well? Like, you should see somebody about that. You have a problem. There's something wrong. Like, you're not connecting the fact that you're so ill. What does, like, intermittent fasting have to do? Oh, because RFK said something, or because this person, or because Kamala Harris said, whatever. I don't care. It is what it is. We're talking about intermittent fasting. That's not political. It's not racist. No one's getting out. Like, just relax. But they're so brainwashed. They don't even know what their idea, if it's their idea or somebody else. Well, I was talking about, you know, with the previous guest, was that, like, it's because they don't sit and listen to their own thoughts. They're too busy. We're just sick. Feel like my buddy on the plane, 4 hours on Instagram. His brain, I just want to see it. It's just like you just see the eggs just scrambling.
Yeah, it's
scrambled.
Yeah, you
Cooked. I do. It's cooked. I should have not that his head. Said, excuse me, you're cooked. You're cooked. I should have. Yeah, you know it's funny. I should have just done a test with them. I said, sir, can we just do a little experiment? Just give him 4 words in a row. It's like, just repeat those back to me. No clue. That guy's brain was
done.
He's gone.
It's done. But it's like if people were aware of that,
yeah.
I think, you know, wake up from it. But, you know, like, again, going back to the whole social media, yes, I'm grateful for it, but I am aware to use it to my advantage, right? And I have the freedom to turn it off. Like, I'm at a point where I'm like, I need a break.
You stop it.
I'm just so
But not yet. But not yet.
Tomorrow.
We're gonna promote all this stuff and
Don't worry. My
the cheat. We're gonna
I just
fire
can't
them.
go on it. I'm like,
I want to build healthy relationships face to face. I miss that in my life.
I am Mr.
I miss it so much.
I like the phone, the face. I actually like the phone better than Zoom, because Zoom is like it's like a fake. I don't even know. I can't explain it. People say it's better. I like the phone because you just pick up. You get friends with people. Yeah. You can have quick conversation. You have a thought. Hey, Kristina, I got this thing going on. What do you think about this?
It's faster to pick up the phone. I hate texting. I don't know about you. Like, I can't read people. Like, people I prefer it too. It's just like zero engagement. But when someone's trying to build a friendship with me via text,
Can't do it.
I can't read the tonality. I can't understand like what the heck that means. Half the time I'm looking up emojis. I'm like, what's going on? Like,
half the time they dictate it and 3 things are wrong. And if you change 1 word on texting, it's the difference between a friendly text and they hate you. And then you're like, oh my God, this person and then they're like, oh, sorry, I heard this word. Or then you're responding, but you don't even know like what the content. I'm like, pick up the phone. If you're close enough in my circle, pick up the phone and be like, hey, this. And again, people are going to say, we got some people in the room that are like, that you never answer the phone. But I do at a certain time. Yeah. So pick up the phone. And because it's just busy. My life is...
You schedule time to speak with me.
Yeah, you schedule time.
such a bitch sometimes.
Or just text
I'm
them.
like, I'm busy. I want to give whoever I'm talking to my full attention. So if I'm not
answering the call. I'm talking to somebody else, and I don't want to be rude.
Just text and say, hey,
We connect.
or just say, can you just give me a call for 3 minutes? Because most phone calls can be 3 or 4 minutes. Unless something happened, like where you need me to help you with your kids, or you're something wrong with your.
This is why I'm getting off of social media. So I can spend more time building my friendships and returning people phone calls.
These one-on-one, yeah, it is true. I mean, it's
World problems here.
no, it's true. But these one-on-one these one-on-one like relationships that you build, though, like people are getting away from it. So like now, that I'm in these different circles, people ask me like, oh, what advice? I'm like, build personal connections where you really know the person. You're not going to vibe with everybody. So you don't have to cry. Like if you're a young person and you're trying to connect with a business owner or something like that, sometimes it's just not going to work. It's not the right vibe.
Yeah.
They don't really want to mentor you. It's not because they're bad people. You're just not the right. Because sometimes like on the mentor side, like I choose like the people that I mentor very carefully because there's some people they're not going to vibe with me. They my experience like
They're drain your energy.
or they're drained like or it's not for the or it's the wrong thing. It's like I'm going to mentor you on stuff that I'm like it's just second nature to me.
Yeah.
Not like other stuff where you want me to help you with some business that I don't know anything about, but just to go, I can give you general about it, give you a couple things, but I don't like know about that
I
stuff.
think
So
people to be around your orbit is so important because they can help elevate you or they can drag you down. And I've been in both scenarios. And honestly, like I'm so picky on who I bring around me. And that's why I love being around entrepreneurs. And the American dream, despite all the, the controversies and the marketing and, brain dead, whatever you want to say, I love the fact that we have that freedom to build whatever we want. Like you live, I always say to my team, I'm like, we swim out into the ocean. We don't know what the heck we're going to find, but we're going to make something happen out there. But people, that don't understand that lifestyle, they can suck the life out of you because like they just don't know how to be an entrepreneur. And I've been around people that wanted to be mentored by me. And I'm like, I can't, I'm sorry.
first of all, when you're an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
this is a great topic because this is a business thing. So number one, when you're an entrepreneur, you're going to fail a lot. And so not everybody needs to be an entrepreneur. This is like really important stuff.
Can handle it.
So I just did a post like very recently about like my advice to like the same thing. If you don't want the lifestyle of being a doctor, don't be a doctor. Yeah. If you don't want the lifestyle of being an entrepreneur, which sucks more than it doesn't suck. It's hard. Now we love it, and you get the energy, you get stuff, but you get the failures, you get the ups and downs.
Tell me about your low moments. Like, do you like have? I feel like we talk about all the wins. I'm like, yesterday I was at such a low moment, and today we're on our way here, and it just like wouldn't stop. And I'm like, hi. I'm like, oh my God, so much is happening all of a sudden. But then you have to remind all those low moments that you have to go through, which a lot of people can't handle because the low moments is where like, the seeds are germinating and you have to have the mental fortitude to withstand that until you see the result.
Until you see the result. I mean, people don't, understand. If you follow some of the greatest entrepreneurs, some of them have literally failed 8, 9 businesses. Literally, like to zero.
Yeah.
They love to take these things to zero. And there's also people that have been very successful and they'll grow a $10 million business or a $100 million business, a la David Meltzer. And then they're at zero, literally not zero where he lost his mom's home and then had to build all back. And this is, right?
And my second phase of my life or third, I don't even know.
You listen, I've had, now, so, for me, I've been involved in all kinds of industry. I did entertainment industry. I did food truck. I did a restaurant. When you're an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I love doing it. Half the people don't even know my stories. I don't talk about it a lot because, I just focus on the surgeon here and then I do it on the side. And if people say, oh, you're a surgeon, why are you focusing on all this stuff? So you are annoyed because I'm like building like a restaurant or a club, but it's okay if I spend 8 hours a day with my rock collection. I'm sorry that it's not fitting your idea of what surgeons should do on their free time. I'm very, very appalled. So that's the other thing with entrepreneur, right? You have to, it's bizarre because you're going to be like wildly unsupported. How many times for the wonderful people that are watching it, how many times have you come up with an idea, and some now have become very successful, have people like, you're ridiculous, that's dumb, that sounds stupid. Like, if you can't, like, I'm like, that's great, because when they're saying it, they're right.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I
you're
don't even tell to people.
I knew you were going to be successful. You're like, I started my business 4 weeks ago.
I honestly, like,
You need at that age.
yeah, like, I don't tell people my ideas anymore. Like, I would have to trust you. Like, my inner circle are.
This is where you bring the ideas, though. Let's hear some new idea. If you have anything new, let's do it.
I'm working on investment opportunities, and like, I get to be around some really brilliant people, but I get to be an asset to their investment opportunity, and then I get to bridge people together into those investment deals, and that to me is such a high, because I've built over the last 25, 30 years a great relationship with wealthy people that I trust, admire, and respect. And then they, and bringing that all together is just powerful. But it's like, I know there's only a handful of people that have supported me from the ups and downs, and the moments where I just, like, those low moments where I just, like, wanted to give up, crying, nothing's making sense, I can't pay my rent, I can't feed my kids, I can't do this. And I know who those people were there that I felt were in my corner and found ways to support me.
You're real friends.
But
You're real friends.
I don't like my mom.
Hey, listen.
I'm like, Mom, and this is where I used to make fun of my mom. I used to make fun of her. I'm like, Mom, you work your job, and this is me being a stupid 20-something-year-old, egotistical, like, talk about being humble. I'm like, oh, Mom, you have your job, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm making, like, millions over here. And, like, I look back and I'm like, Mom, I'm so sorry I was such a bitch to you. Like, I am so sorry. Because now the moments where I was low and the mom was scraping her paycheck together to help me pay some of my bills, I was like, I get goosebumps. I'm like, I will never disrespect my mom. And when I am to the level where I'm like, I'm going to, like, spoil my mom rotten. But, you have to realize, again, this is like being aware of your own, like, your unit. Like, are you present to what's happening in your day-to-day life? Are you treating people with respect? And in my 20s, I thought I knew everything, and I'm building, moving fast. And then everything, my life collapsed. But like,
teenagers and 20-year-olds are, like, in the 20s are not the easiest. Like, some of these, no, they're very. Now, you might be very smart, but sometimes we think we know. No, I was there too. I mean, I was there too. I was a big shot. Right? I'm in med school. I know everything. I didn't know. I know nothing. Zero.
yeah, but it's like,
I know anatomy.
It makes you special, though, because even though you had the ego, I felt like in my 30s, I got so humbled that as I was reinventing myself, right, those lows, they humble you, because as an entrepreneur, you have to learn to rise, have grace with yourself, pay attention to how you talk to yourself, because how you talk to yourself creates that energy. And if your energy is of guilt and shame, that's low energy. That's not expanding. You have to raise your vibration. But how do you raise it? By being aware and now programming your mind with good things, like things that uplift your mindset. So for me, I did the bodybuilding last year. Like, I had to overcome my self-image issues. And that wasn't like, I was frantically dieting in my, like, teen years and 20s. But when I changed the mindset of, like, I just want to feel good, that was a different energy. Like, I didn't care how I looked anymore. All I care about is how can I treat this vehicle with respect, so that way I show up with highest output of energy that's going to impact anybody I come in contact with. And that's a level of self-awareness, humility, lots of lows, and letting go of the ego to get to that point.
No, 100%. And you have, like, what's in common, right? How many entrepreneurs that that are now, like, uber, successful, wealthy, whatever you want to call it. They're not all wealthy. Some people are not, but they're very happy. Yeah. They have sandwich shops, or they, like, do whatever. They're doing well. They're where they need to be. Almost all of them that are successful. Yeah. Once in a blue moon, somebody hits it on the first, like that, right? Yeah. That's like, I don't know any of them, but if you know somebody, but most of the times there's ups and downs. People are low, people, right, sleeping in their cars and they're broke and their stuff. Steve Harvey, right? It is
The dental office we had to figure out how to make the dental office successful. I had to bring the kids and have them sleep there. So we took patients off hours because most dental clinics were closed. So how did we build our practice? Offering service on hours where it was closed, and most patients had emergencies. And that's how I built up our business from 0 patients to a multi-million-dollar business within 2 years, because we chose to do something different. And when you start doing things differently, that's what I'm saying. If you start doing a podcast with kids and letting them talk smack about parents, I think that's
a cool podcast. We got good piece. Who wants to see our kids just bash us?
We'll just start
comments.
Hey, here's a comment.
This is fun. Yeah, they're like, and I said, well, it's good. Some of my trolls will love it. We're like, get his kids out so we could just all fuck party. See how much we hate this guy.
And because our kids would be able to do it. A lot of kids can't break away from the screens. Again, going back to the whole brain dead, where I was like, we're going into such a difficult time for our children because they don't know how's right. They don't know how to think. Oh, no, where vegetables.
No, I always say right. We mean literally.
I see how my son writes. I'm like, oh, honey.
And cursive, like luckily, my kids,
do
my
cursive.
the kids, we sent it to the schools where they had to do cursive as part of it.
Yeah, Mila knows how to do cursive. I'm like, you look like you're still in kindergarten, buddy.
The kids do not know how to do cursive, and they cannot tell time from a normal clock, which is that is bizarre. I don't even believe that. I have to just ask. I'm gonna just ask random kids on the street what time is it, and just show them a clock and see if they can know what's that.
That's so funny.
What are those numbers? But I just going back to the lows. That is part of the life of the entrepreneur, and that's why Cordell, right? Who's part of Aspire Tour.
Oh, I love that.
And he's great. He's my guy. He's my guy. He's amazing.
It's so funny. The dynamic is so funny.
He's amazing. When first of all, no offense, I'm actually going to visit with him in almost like a month from now. But it's no, I'm not. No offense. When I'm with Cordell, this is all with love. When I first met him at this Aspire Tour, this guy comes out. He's got like Jordans on and a backwards cap.
My son judged him so.
And this is my event or whatever. I thought I was like, is this like Chris Farley reincarnated? I was gonna just start telling jokes or do I've been the van down by the river skate, all this stuff, and he's doing all this stuff, and he's kind of funny, and then he got serious, and then he started dropping just ridiculous. It's the first time I met. He's at this Aspire Tour in Minneapolis, and it's funny how we judge, because I judged right away.
You do?
Listen.
Well, no, I didn't judge. I saw my son is so judgmental. I'm a judgmental.
I get it later.
But it's my son's like, this guy's voice is so annoying. Why is he dressed like that?
He's the best. Wood Floyd, Andrew Cordell.
Once you get
that guy,
he's incredible. But the knowledge, his story, so rich. I went to their gala. Were you there in December when they did the master? He told a story of his father, of how he got disciplined or whatever for shooting the BB gun when he was. I was in tears. I was like, oh my God, he loves his dad. It was such a powerful story.
You saw Hugh with the kid, he was at one, or he had oh my God, it's.
It's such a beautiful.
The interesting thing about what you said about sleeping on the tables, in the dentistry office, and your kids were there, and Kuda, this is what it takes to be an entrepreneur.
And I logged it on YouTube before it was popular.
Awesome. If you were doing that now, and you went, all those videos would be millions of views. By the way,
yeah.
Little tip on social. Now that I've been watching, and I'm not social stuff because you do better than I do on social. You should repost those. Holy moly! If you should repost those.
So funny. That was my marketing strategy.
Yes, I will. That. Those kinds of stories are that stuff. That stuff again.
But on YouTube or on Instagram?
Instagram, I feel like it would go wild.
I have flex in my little baby view. I'm like, here's your $5,000 treatment plan. It's ahead of the baby.
No, you just be like, look, this is what I'm doing now. And this was me sleeping on the floor then with my kids. That what people would just, I don't know how to, you can mix it up and whatever. But those are really, really good. I mean, that's where you get like the millions. Sorry, folks. Like, unfortunately, this is our, like, it's like once I decided to step in, now I got to figure out how to make you people click on the damn mark. Like us, please. But going back to Cordell, the reason I even brought him up was because there's two types of people, and people need to really, and it's really two. Okay, there's the people that are going to be those W-2 things where they do not want to take the risks. It's too much for them. It's very, very difficult to be a creator. Yeah. So for those people, I just say I would strongly recommend stick with your W-2 job. Yeah. Do that stuff. If you have cool stuff, if you want to make paper mache, animal, whatever you do, do that, but do it as a hobby. Don't go all in. If you really believe in an idea and you do stuff and you understand that you might be sleeping on the floor in some, building. Yeah. If you look at all these guys, Eric Thomas was eating out of trash cans. The Steve Harvey was living in his car. It's a story after story after story of sacrifice and pain. And I have
a belief in yourself. You know how many people don't believe in themselves? Even to work out. How about that? Start it or yeah, but you mean do you know what I mean? To have such immense belief that you can create. My kids call me crazy because I have such insane belief that it's going to happen, even in my low moments where I'm so upset and feeling nothing's happening.
You have to believe.
And then you just people remind you, right? Have you ever read the book Relentless by Tim Grover? How
Tim Grover's my
Tim Grover's my guy.
It reminds you you go all in on you, and you have the supporting cast who's there to cheer you on when you're not doing well, because they know you're relentlessly insane to go after it, and there's not enough people in this world that will sacrifice everything, even relationships, unfortunately.
You have to sometimes sacrifice everything, but now you brought up Tim Grover, so let's go to Tim Grover.
Bye, Andrew. Time to go to Tim.
Yes, Tim Grover. Yeah, bye, Andrew. Andrew, you're awesome. The backwards cap is tight. Love you. We're gonna move on. Let me pick on Grover. I'm not picking on Grover. Grover's amazing. So anyway, we could go on and on about Tim Grover's stuff, but the thing about Tim Grover, and this one I want to tell entrepreneurs, and I know you're gonna second this. If you're gonna do it, you have to be willing to just go for broke. Literally. He's like, and he just says in one of this things, and people can look, you'll see this emotion. He's like, you think Kobe Bryant was just interested in basketball? You think Tim Cook was just interested in phones? Steve Jobs, he was just interested in apples. It's a little thing I'm going to do on the side. If it doesn't work, I'll just take a couple months off. No, and so that is important. This is a business show, and who's going to watch this? People that are entrepreneurial, right? That's a one of one. People that, or people that are nuts, right? We're going to attract a very
but you have to do what we do.
You get my wife on the phone, she'll tell you I'm not. She actually gets that I'm she's like you actually. She's like something is wrong with you. Yeah, she's like this.
Yeah, say how many people, but they believe, should support. In their weird way.
And then I'm sure that you have to hear moms. She's in studio, by the way. That's why we're talking about. I'm sure you have to hear all these sayings. I'm sure you could repeat the 10 top sayings that she says. No problem. You probably give lectures on stuff, that she says. And I'm sure she goes into big discussions at the wrong time. You're at dinner, you just want to eat food, and you have to get a lecture about how to live your life. But it's funny that you bring that up. She's laughing because it's true. See, this is her. We're already getting her started for her, for the podcast.
Pull up a chair, honey.
Yeah, but just think about it. So on New Year's Eve this last year, we're sitting there. Right, it's my wife and my two kids, and I don't know why. Maybe because I had a glass of wine. We're getting ready. It's 9:00. Still had 3 hours left. And I just start thinking, and I know, and I can't help myself because I gotta talk about this stuff. It just comes out. I don't know what happens. I'm sitting there.
You don't know how to be normal.
I'm like, it's New Year's. Let's talk about what are we doing in 26? But anyway, I just get into this, and it's like the entrepreneurial mindset is crazy. And I want my kids to get the bug. And, they have some of it. They're more balanced. I mean, dad's nuts. That's fine. But I went into the infinite. Like, I'm just like, you have to understand something. And then I want to get to money, because money, it's an important topic.
Yeah. And I want to get to this quote.
Wait, no, but it's
So cool.
we're gonna do the quotes. But what I talk about is like, the universe is infinite. And you can go out and do literally, if you read stories about what people do, you just watch it. They literally, if you just go on Instagram, people like, I went from 0 to 300 million in 2 years. These things should happen. I was saying
down,
right?
Billionaire in 10 years.
It's not. I'm not telling people that that's going to happen to them, and that should not be their goal. Their goal should be to
selling the entrepreneurial dream.
No. Most entrepreneurs are fairly most of you are going to be more broke than you're not going to be broke. It's just the truth. But it's about like the infinite and doing whatever you can. And there's such abundance out there. So now I want to transition, like just talking about money. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to read some of your quotes. I got to get my computer a little bit closer. But when it comes to money, I want to be real careful on these shows. It's really interesting. People are not comfortable talking about money.
Andrew talks about that.
I know they're not comfortable, and I see that all the time. They are not comfortable in any way talking about money. It's a guilt, it's shame, it's this and that. So number one, money is not going to solve all your problems, but it's certainly going to help you to make your problems easier to deal with. So that's just from a personal standpoint, because when you're broke, for those of you that are broke and are upset that people are talking about money, I would listen to the people that are talking about money and hear what they're saying, because that's number one. But the other thing that's really important on the money topic, right? And you went from broke to having a lot of money. You went from having money to not having money to having money. That's
the roller coaster.
That's the entrepreneurial share. But the key is, and what we talk about, and why I love being around the Meltzers of the world and like Bill Walsh and all these guys, they're amazing people, is because they're not using money for the sake of getting like another thing.
Yeah.
They're using money for the sake of helping humanity improve, because when the money gets into the hands of people that want to do good, that's where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's where it needs to be. And so it's about abundance. When you have money, you can create, right? If you go to those rooms, right?
Multiply.
You go to those rooms.
Yeah.
Who has
Mar-a-Lago?
Yeah. Who has more, or any of the Aspire rooms or whichever conference you want to pull? Who can do more? The people on the stage that have $100 million. Can they do more for society? Or can the guy in the back that can hardly, afford, to fix their car if it breaks down, but wants to get into it? And that's why they should aspire to do that, because they've been there, so then they can help people that they're in their thing. And then it's just like a situation where it's just you're giving back. And I'm not saying everyone who has a lot of money is giving back, but the crazy thing is, the more you're around these people, and you're around a lot of them, the more you're around them, they're the best, they're the biggest givers. They give up their time.
Time is
like a lot of them. They give their time, which is for them is way higher currency. Because to them, like, 50 grand, 100 they wouldn't even notice if it left, their account. But if you want an hour of their time, they notice that.
It's their energy.
It's their energy.
Yeah, as it took years to build it up, and going for those down moments. But yeah, like talking about money, I love how Andrew brings it to. It made me very uncomfortable talking about money, because I grew up I was starving, and I had to confront the fact that I love money, not for what the actual paper. It's about what I could do.
It's a business show. It's okay. You can say that. That's where we're at.
I want to impact the world by showing that women can achieve anything that they want, even after divorce, even after losing everything. Any kind of setback that you've experienced, you can overcome it. You just have to put in the work and believe in yourself. And that sometimes starts with just getting out of bed, putting yourself together, doing some healthy habits. I had to do all of that.
Make your bed. The way you get
I get shocked when people don't even make their bed.
You gotta just
Entrepreneurs won't make their bed.
wake up when the alarm goes.
Oh my God, I don't trust you. Yeah, see, trust. You don't brush your teeth.
They just take care of yourself first. Like in my book, my upcoming book, like last chapter in the book, instead of the blue zones, it's the me and you zones. It's very simple. It's like, I'm going to take care of me so I can take care of you. If you do that, if you have communities like that, like just say you just have like whatever your neighbor, like whatever your neighborhood is in. If everyone took care of themselves as best that they could, you know how much better of a neighbor they'd be, and a family member and a friend.
And they were all stronger.
And together we are stronger. But what happens in our society is people are wrapped into all this garbage. They don't take care of themselves. They're chronically ill. They feel like crap. And then they're mean to people. They're bad parents. They're distracted. They're bad employees, right? Like one of the issues we struggle with across a lot of the companies that I'm associated with are people are on TikTok the whole time when they're trying to work. And we had to we had to do the whole thing because they're sick. They're not well, so you can't be your best self if you're not well. And I mean, that's not just your body; it's also
it starts with you.
So
I don't know, money thing is so important, you guys. Like when I moved to this country, I had so many people from my church help with the circumstances that I had to live in America as a kid. I want to help so many people, and I know that God has been molding me and shaping me through all the difficulties so I can handle the wealth that I'm supposed to receive to be able to make a massive impact. Not just the way I lived my life every day and impacted people alongside me, but truly make a difference. Like that's why I love what Eddie's doing with his charity.
they're doing it all.
If I have to work a day in my life, I would be on the ground building those wells. I'd be teaching children. My mission work was to go and educate children in third world countries and parents how to take care of their oral health, because that is not taught, and lack of information is what creates a lot of problems in society, period. And if you don't know how to take care of you, going back to what we're talking about, you can't take care of other people. And I used to think of it backwards, and this is what my mom taught me, right? She's like, just help people. But I'm like, I've done so much helping that I've sacrificed myself, and I had to relearn that because I got so unhealthy, and I wasn't being an asset to my children, to my community, to myself. And I had to, and that's another thing. You want to talk about money? A lot of people think that it's selfish to take care of you, or it's an excuse to not take care of you.
That's amongst bad excuses. That's one of the most bad. That's one of the like we say in the, like where I'm from in the Bronx, the worstest, right? That's the worstest excuse. That's some dumb. It's just like, one thing I'm really good at is when, at least my patients, when they say like excuses, I'm like, you know what?
You call them out?
I definitely call. I always call my patients, and they're good. They're cool because I'm cool. I'm just like That's ridiculous what you just said. Yes or no? And they're like, it's kind of ridiculous. Like it's a little ridiculous. And then we're cool. And we're cool. It's fine. Like I said, no one's ever complained that I said stuff. I'm very calm, and I'm like, this is not.
Have you ever had like where you are like either with your patients or people around you where you make people uncomfortable because you bring us, like you're a mirror to people of where they're lacking?
Of course.
And this is where the scary part is, right? Like a lot of people like are scared to like be around me sometimes because I'm literally a reflection of what they're lacking. And that discomfort, they don't want to confront it because that requires them to look at their inadequacies, whether they're fat, whether they're, horrible parent, whether they're still carrying this sheer trauma around and putting it into
their reflection of your
And a lot of people don't like that, and they avoid it, and they'd rather numb through social media, binge watching TV, food,
everything, gambling, sex, whatever, everything. Just anything not to deal with their stuff. You got to deal with your stuff.
Be an entrepreneur of your.
For me, it's my book, Be the CEO of Your Own Health. I know I was going to read that. This is insane. So I'm going to drop some brilliant, quotes that you threw out here that I was really, fascinated with. I think they're great. And you're like, it's just right to the point. Like, that's it. Just so, right. So this was my favorite because obviously I do the CEO of Your Own Health deal. So you must be the CEO of your own mind and body before you can scale as a mega entrepreneur in the real world. That's a straightforward. We just talked about all that, right? You just said that's the me or your zones. There you go. Like, that's good for anything. Like you're not good for anything, unless you're doing their stuff. I love this. Confidence comes from mindset shifts that allow you to own exactly who you are right now. People don't. We just that you just said. It's funny. I'm giving you quotes of stuff. You literally are speaking truth to power. Truth to power. On leadership, authenticity, discipline, and vision are 3 non-negotiables for any leader joining a global stage. Absolutely. I love the authenticity part. I think
A lot of people struggle with that. I struggle with it too sometimes.
of course, the authenticity.
So you have to I have to check myself daily, and that's why being around people that are woke, awake.
Woke in a day.
Not sleeping for life.
It's not sleeping because you're holding me accountable. So being my real self right now,
You're this is you. You're just you're just saying the one thing that I would add to there personally, and this is really important to me, and I've been burned a lot.
Yeah.
We all have.
Yeah.
People are full of it. So part of it is authenticity. They're literally, and you know who you are.
Yeah.
Seriously, people are just liars.
Because
Well,
they make excuses.
they're liars. They lie to themselves too. Sometimes they're not even trying. They just lie.
It's a part of their being.
Integrity. That's the one thing I would throw in there. Integrity. You just if you look at Warren Buffett's quotes, if you look at these other people, they could have all this stuff. They could be. I don't care I don't care what they can do. Companies that if they don't have integrity, run. People without integrity, we have a world that is very low on integrity right now. We need authenticity.
Integrity is critical. One of the things I learned from the Cardellans of having core values, and integrity is one of them, because I'll just touch upon this. My divorce, the reason it fell apart is because of lack of integrity on the life that we thought we were building, and in alignment when we weren't. The other person just was not being in integrity with what they were building versus what we thought we were building, right? And that kind of shattered me. And it took me 8 years to rebuild trust in people, because I was petrified in trusting people, even friends, because of the information that I received on the life that was being lived versus what I thought the man was living, and I was physically, I don't know if I lost feeling in my arms and legs, and
listen.
But it came out. I lost feeling, and and then I couldn't speak. I would have panic attacks. That's all because of lack of integrity. And when I'm around people, I pay attention to what they say, but I pay attention to what they do so much more, because if it's not in alignment, and I hold myself accountable, because hey, if I'm telling people to operate from integrity, but then I say I'm not, I'm going to, let's say, do the gym or doing 2 workouts a day, and I'm not doing it, I'm a liar.
I love that. That was perfect. That's exactly right. The amount of people embellishment and exaggeration. Now, if you want to exaggerate something that doesn't do whatever. I don't really care. But if you're gonna do business with somebody, business show, if you do business with somebody, here's a good rule. As soon as you pick them, as soon as people get caught in a lie, run.
Yeah.
They cannot help themselves by doing it again. I have never seen a person that you don't go from not having integrity to having integrity. That's now. I'm not saying people can't convert, but they can convert and do something else with somebody else. But when they lie on an application form, or they say something, or you ask them, hey, where was that? That paper you were supposed to put in. And they start. They're just no, you can't. And that's the thing I've struggled with the most in doing business, is that watching people, do these things and then always giving them another chance and another chance and another chance. It's no different than people being in very toxic relationships where people there's actually physical altercations and the people keep going back because it's a bad problem. So I had to learn to just think about this stuff. And again, I'm a softie still. I'm getting there.
The benefit of
But it's getting harder. I want 2 more quotes, and then we'll get ready to wrap. We got to pick it. We'll keep this going. Okay. This is great. We just said that. This is beautiful. My mission is to help shape a world where wealth is created to create impact, not just accumulation. You're speaking your game. Like literally, these are things you said. You're speaking. All right. Well, we'll go last one. I love this, right? Like, they call you like the queen, right? Queen of one of the. So anyway, you said being a queen of an industry means taking full responsibility for the results of everyone else in your kingdom. That could not be better information. I brought this up on other shows. I'm always bringing up Gary Vee stuff. The day that you realize that everything that goes wrong with you and everything else of the around is your fault. He does it in the Gary way. He's like, you get happy real fast. You get the fairly animated. He's a great Jets fan, and hopefully he'll be the owner of the Jets here coming up soon. That's his goal, is to become a big Jets fan. I know it's horrible, but it is.
But that's operating with such relentless responsibility to yourself, whether you're entrepreneur or not. You can be an entrepreneur of your own life first. Master that consistently for a year. Then you build self-respect for yourself. And then if you want to start a business, you're going to have more confidence doing that because you have created a lifestyle where you can handle that. I did it backwards before. I built a business without taking care of myself. That's why I crashed the first time. If you learn, and if you want to do it right, start with being a CEO of your mind, body, heart, soul, and build on that.
100%. And unfortunately, a lot of people that want to be entrepreneurs or want to do great things, they have to master how to take care of yourself. If your health is in disrepair, this is not a good time to start a business. I don't care how excited you are. You have a business. Your first business, order of business, is you.
It's hard. It's if you dropped out of a heart attack,
right?
In that second meeting, it's not so good.
Take care of your body, your mind, because we go back to the energy part. Like
everything is energy vibration.
You're stressed and you're gonna be stressed. And
you're gonna be stressed, but you can use stress. There's a lot of it. I've had like some good people on my pod, but you can use. Stress is good. Without some stress, you're not going to do anything. There's no stress. If there's no deadline, it's like, hey, let's build this studio. Well, when are we going to build it? I'll get it done. Nothing's going to happen. But if you say it's going to be done by April 1st, and that's it, and that's it, non-negotiable. April 1st, we are filming our first, thing, and that's it. Then it's non-negotiable. That's how you treat the gym. That's how we treat biohacking. That's how you treat breath. All the stuff is just non-negotiable. Everything in our lives that become non-negotiable, we're going to do. Everything else is maybe we'll do, maybe we won't. And then we get into disrepair. Anyway, listen, this has been great. We got ideas. We got the kids podcast going. We got we got all kinds of stuff. We kept it pretty PG. The one thing we didn't. Yeah, you could drop a couple of files before it in the audience wants to take it. So how do people find you? If they're interested, first of all, if you happen to be like you, because you're real estate, the stuff you do is mostly in the Florida market, correct? Or do you do all nationwide stuff?
Real estate.
You do everything. You're in deals of everything. So just let people know why you should reach out to you.
I'm very split. Like, I don't want to be like don't look for me, please. But like for real, like I protect my energy piece because honestly, like I'm gonna make you uncomfortable because I'm gonna make you look at what is wrong with you. And if you are okay with looking at yourself, and I'm a mirror to that. So find me if you want to. But if you're an entrepreneur and want to do deals and you have your mind in the right place, or at least you're in that direction, you can find me on Instagram, my full name. I'm sure you'll put the
we'll put that. We're gonna all
and message me, and my team will vet you and see if you can even.
Is there a website?
People to go to. It's my full name, but
we'll put it all. We'll put it all on the. We'll put it all on the.
Yeah. Just check yourself before you reach out to me.
I tell you something. You know what? It's the ones that are humble, that are like, don't even look me up unless where that.
They're humble, but I'm very selfish.
Well, you should. I'm like, I know the more
as a single mom, it's hard. Like I have to protect my kids. I have to protect my team. I have to protect the entrepreneurs and the type of people I work with. So if I let a rotten apple into my, that's why there's some layers to get through.
Exhausting.
Yeah, and once you mess up, there's a recovery period, right? Like from when you have people betray you, right? It takes time to recover from that. So I don't want everybody.
If you
I
ever-
actually want privacy. It's funny because I've come from being in my 20s, want to be famous, and now I understand the responsibility of that fame because people will drain you, and you have to be careful because you can't let riffraff.
People are exhausted. So for those W-2 people, they're like, I want to be an entrepreneur. You know what? At least when you're W-2, or you're just doing something, you're not like trying to do stuff. Yes, the office people, everyone watches The Office. I get it. People are annoying, right? And the cubicles, I get it. And that's not, people don't want to do that. They're not like people, like that's a whole different thing. But guess what?
There'll be no jobs soon with the way
This is that's all. There's a different conversation. That's something we really got into on Meltzer's office hours. We had some really good AI people on, but anyway, it's like at least when the clock strikes 3 or 4 or 5, whenever you're done, you don't have to take calls all night from people that are so draining of energy. So I'm at Donald.
entrepreneurial.
They're
Like, hey, are you still up?
no, there's certain people though that I like. Yeah, no. You, I'll take your call at any time. You can call me at 3:00 in the morning. I don't care. But you know those types, the ones it's never good news. Every time the phone rings and you see them, you're like, oh my god, well, what? Right? When you're doing that, that's probably the wrong person. Like if your phone's ringing and you're like, but that person is probably not the right
person. Yeah, the energy you have to be.
just like if you're doing that, like like if you have a spouse and every time they like you're annoyed, it's probably and you should probably look into some stuff.
Yeah, you have to protect your energy, and like if you're not even an entrepreneur and you have a job, who's in your circle that's draining you? I have to do like a huge inventory of.
You have to.
And I get comfortable being uncomfortable because that's what entrepreneurs like. I'm okay with telling people to F off because I'm sorry you're not adding value because you don't take care of yourself.
Off when we
No, you're great. Like we're
you are this guy.
I don't think have I ever told anybody to F off in person? Wow, okay.
I don't know, but metaphorically, you're just like get the like what you don't want to be drained. Listen, like again, like if you're like Joe Rogan, he's like he says it's so funny. He like mumbles like half this. He's like and those toxic people, those people that like hey, that's never gonna work. He's like get the people the F out of your life. Like just you gotta get away from. You gotta run. You have to run from those people.
They're addicted to.
It's exhausting. Yeah, they want to be around your energy, but their energy is so negative. And obviously, we're vibing. I didn't even get into all of that. Like right now, like we're vibing on this conversation. If we both had EEGs on our brain, the more we saw, the more we would start to like. You would start to see like the brain waves are vibing. This is true. Same thing. Heart-brain coherence. Our hearts start like vibing at the same level. This is like real science. I think this has been done. It's like this is very
Science question. I know we're chatting.
We're wrapping with the science.
Do you think there is like radiation coming off of the phones and headphones that are damaging the brain? Because I wear headphones all the time. Am I cooking my brain? Like I just for my own selfish reasons.
I would to stay away from the headphones and all that. In fact, listen, again, people get deep into the weeds. You do whatever you want, but there's so much pollution that we're bombarded with microplastics.
Yeah.
Every food that we put in our mouth that has ingredients on the label, it's all shit in there. It's garbage. If you look at just tea bags that we use, they have millions of. It's disgusting the amount of microplastics we're getting. So it's not just the Tupperware stuff. It's not just this. And look, I'm talking about microplastics while I'm drinking our bottle of water. And then thanks to the assistants for making me look like an idiot on your show. Less plastic bottles. Don't do it. I mean, I'm just saying we're bombarded by it, though. I'm like, dude, I'm not one of these people on top. If you drink from this, your mitochondria are all going to die tomorrow. No, it's not like that. It'll happen all the time. But between the 5G towers and the microplastics and all all these processed food ingredients, we're just bombarded. So the less you can do it. So there's people that wear all these 5G blockers. So they have like 5G underwear like blockers, and they like wear stuff and they block everything. And they're like, well, pretty soon I'm like, are you just going to be like in a total bodysuit to block this stuff out? I mean, we're not going to Mars.
I just worry about it because I can't help to think that, we're constantly have this technology and energy, right? We talk about energy that's hitting our bodies that we have never experienced.
More tumors on the sides of the cell phone reefs, right? So
Are you seeing?
it goes to nuts. I mean, that's just so people talk about it. Here's that there's data out there.
Because I'm like, this is my
They
goal right here.
Less is
I don't want
less
to
is
break my
less is
head.
more.
Less is more.
But
I mean, there's a lot of glioblastomas out there and stuff like that. It's a little bit controversial and stuff. But anyway, this is a good time. This is a great time to wrap. We're just running to a whole different session. So listen, Kristina, thanks for being on this episode. This was amazing. Hopefully this will keep you going on social before you tap out for a little bit. Is there so much? I mean, you're like a quote machine on the show tonight. All great. Thank you. All great information. All great. And for one day, she's going to support the show and then radio silence. Then when she's going to be the person watching the post, not a
no,
not a.
that when I'm on social, like I'm never engaging. Like I have people that do it for me.
Of course. I mean, you do. I do. I like do my stuff just on me and
When I go on and do my own Julie.
I just do one. I only do one.
And what
I just do one. I just
all citizen. I have them. Somebody I pay to support my.
Of course you do because you have to. Like you have all.
I'm doing.
Once your stuff gets.
$1 deal.
I'm saying like on my LinkedIn, if I had like the people like the comments because that's my my big platform is LinkedIn because I've done it for years. It says that they come, so like I'll post something, and there are a lot of docs and stuff. They're chiming in, and I can't respond to all of them. But anytime the team sees something that's like a very key question, says, "Hey, this guy has this disease," I usually say, "Come consult with me," because I can't. People want all this medical advice and stuff. I can't do that. I'm not your doctor.
You're gonna put yourself on a.
I'm not their doctor, but I'm also not their doctor. I'm the first.
You know the context.
I don't know the doctor. I don't know the magic. I don't know anything. I haven't done it. I don't know anything about you. So anyway. Thanks for being on the show today. It's been a whirlwind. This has been great. We got your smile. I don't think we got you in trouble on this show, which is great. I don't think Smith was your daughter, but I don't think with the world. So yeah. So this is awesome. We have to do it again. Thanks everyone for joining us on another episode of Business at the Speed of Light. I hope you stayed until the end. We'll see you guys next time. Remember, don't go into entrepreneurship unless you're willing to pay the price. It's just reality. See you guys next time.